Welcome back. In this video, we are going to see more about member function and member data. We have seen what is member function and data. Uh, we are going to see the first thing is how we can call one member function from another. So we have seen classes with many member functions. We are going to see that how one member function can call the other one. So let us see this. So So let us see the class where class name is A. So this is what my class name. So we have no member data. Obviously, this is private by default. So we have two functions. These are member functions. And look at the place where this is defined. So we have defined this. And we have another function setX indirect. So this is the definition for this. So the whole thing is your class. We are done with the class part. Now what is the heading says we are going to call one member function from the other one. So let us see the main function for this. So this is your main function. Your main starts and ends here. So what we have done is we have created an object of the class A1. So A1 is an object. Now what we can do is using this object we can access both the member functions. This is my first member function and this is my second one. So what I do is I'll access a member function called set indirect with parameter as 1. So obviously it will go to the function set indirect. So it will come over here. So it will come to this place set indirect and look at inside this what set indirect function does, which calls a function called setX. This is what calling one member function from the other one. This is possible, right? So where q gets a value of 1, p gets again 1, and p will be assigned to x. So what is going to be the x value? So x gets the value as 1. Next, let us see what happens to the call. The first one is we have seen your function call called a1 dot set indirect. So we have seen in the previous videos this will be converted into the form of pointers. So you'll have the function name as it is set indirect, and the parameter, the first parameter is going to be a address of a variable or address of the class. So you are going to give ampersand a1. This is nothing but the class to which the function set indirect belongs and the parameter. So what happens to the function set indirect in q? This is what the function definition which we have written inside the class. So what happened to this? So which is going to add a pointer as the first parameter, leading formal argument, and the parameter which was already there, which is going to remain as it is. So what we have done, we have added, or your system or the compiler is going to add leading formal argument, which is nothing but the pointer, or we call it as this pointer. And what happened to this set q? Set q will be converted into this format. So let us see more about member functions and member data. And as we have seen in the previous cases, even member functions can be overloaded, just like non-member functions. So we have seen how we can overload non-member functions. Uh, Now we are going to see how we can overload a member function. So let us see this. So where we can see a class called A. So which does not have any private member data or member functions, which has got two member functions and both has got the same name but different signature. Look at this, which does not have any parameter or argument, and if you see the second one, it has got a single parameter. So this is what function overloading, functions with same name but different signatures. So let us see what is the main function for this. So we have taken the definition for this. So we have to define the show. So the first one without parameter is going to be like this, and the second show with single parameter is going to be like this. Now look at the main function where I've created a object of the class A. So my class name is A. So A1. I've created a class variable which is nothing but the object. Now using this object, I access the member functions A1 dot show. So what happened? We have got two member functions with the same name. So obviously what happened? You're based on the parameters, which is going to select the right one. So first definition will be called because which does not have any parameter. Look at the second one where I can find again the function name is same. I use the same object and but I use a parameter. So obviously based on the signature, it has to select the second function. So for the first one, first definition is called. For the second one, second definition is called. Is it clear? Am I clear? So what is going to be the output? So let us see the output for this. So if you take a1 dot show, so this will be called, which is going to print hello one time. So hello will be printed. Second time a1 dot show, which is going to take the parameter as 3. So x is 3 now. So we start from 0 less than 3. From 0 to 3. So less than 3, that means 0, 1, 2. So hello will be printed another 3 times. So totally this program is going to print hello 3 times. So what happened with uh, the definitions we have seen already. So let me explain it again. So now let us see the class, two different classes with the same name, same function name. Look at this. So we have a class A which has got a function called show, and we have a class B, even this has got a function called show. Two different classes with same function name. How this can happen? Same name show is defined in both the classes A and B, but we have the knowledge of this pointer. So what this pointer is going to do is, this pointer is going to convert the show into this format. So this will be converted into this format. So there is no confusion. This is what we learned. This pointer is a pointer to the object which has invoked the function. Same way the second one will be converted into this format. So there is no confusion. So without function overloading, we cannot, or it is not possible for us to have two functions this with the same name and different parameters, or we cannot have uh, you know uh, same functions in different classes. So this we call it as polymorphism. So C++ enables the concept of polymorphism, which is nothing but function overloading.